Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled The Equalizer. Let's get straight into the storyline. The movie begins with a man named Robert McCall, who works at a Home Mart hardware store.
Thought you finished this job last week.
During break time, Robert meets his coworker Ralphie, who is undergoing a diet program to take part in the security guard selection.
You want to make security guard, you got to lose weight, you got to test in 1 week. Now, you asked me to help you, but if you're not willing to apply yourself.
Yeah.
In the evenings, Robert always takes time to read a book at a restaurant, where he brings his own tea bags and cutlery. The restaurant was not too crowded that night. There were only a few customers, including a young woman named Alina. She greeted Robert and asked him about the story in the book he was reading. Soon after, Alina said goodbye and left the place, hailing a taxi.
Hey!
The next day, Robert went back to his usual activities, working at Home Mart, chatting with Ralphie and other coworkers, then coming home to clean up and have dinner. That evening, Robert returned to his regular diner with a book to read. Shortly after he arrived, Alina entered the diner in skimpy clothes and heavy makeup. She was about to order a drink when suddenly her cell phone rang, a call from her boss. It turns out that Alina is a teenage prostitute working under the name Terry for the Russian mobster Slavy. That night, she was required to serve a customer who picked her up in front of the diner. The next day, Robert accompanied Ralphie, who was doing physical exercises to lose weight so he could take the security officer selection exam. Even though Ralphie had a hard time and nearly gave up due to the intense training, Robert continued to encourage him with all his heart, hoping Ralphie could fulfill his dream of becoming a security guard. Long story short, Robert went back to his usual activities, including visiting his regular restaurant and reading books there. That night, Alina was already present. She walked over to Robert's favorite table and asked permission to sit with him.
Sit.
Robert agreed, and soon noticed bruises on her face. After chatting for a while, Robert learned that Alina was forced to work for Slavy because of debt, even though her real dream was to become a famous singer. Alina then gave Robert a CD containing a recording of her singing. Robert happily accepted the gift and promised he would listen. After spending time together at the diner, Robert decided to walk Alina home. Along the way, they had a pleasant conversation until a car stopped in front of them. A man, none other than Slavy, stepped out and went straight to Alina. Slavy slapped and strangled her for disappointing a customer the night before, and he demanded compensation. Seeing this, Robert wanted to help, but Slavy threatened him not to interfere. He even gave Robert a business card, telling him to call if he ever needed a comfort woman. Slavy then dragged Alina away. In the following nights, Robert no longer saw Alina at the diner. One night, a diner employee told him that Alina had been beaten and was currently in the hospital. Robert went there and found her lying helpless, her face covered in bruises. Another girl, Alina's coworker Mandy, explained that Alina had been beaten by Slavy for rebelling and disobeying orders. Seeing her condition, weak, bruised, and suffering not only from Slavy but also abusive customers, Robert felt sorry and decided to help her escape the dangerous situation. The scene then switches to Slavy entering his fancy restaurant. He went to his office, where several of his men were waiting to deposit money collected from those who owed him. Not long after, Robert entered Slavy's office and offered him some money to free Alina, so she would no longer have to work for him. But Slavy immediately rejected the offer, saying he could make more money if Alina kept working. He insulted Robert, telling him to take his money, go home, and pleasure himself. Since Slavy refused, Robert calmly took back the money and walked toward the door. But once he reached it, he did not leave. Instead, he locked the door and turned to face Slavy. Slavy and his henchmen confronted Robert. For a while, Robert made a brief observation of the people in the room as well as the items around him. He estimated that it would take only 16 seconds to kill everyone there.
1,000.
Slavey and all his men were swiftly overthrown by Robert, who slaughtered them with a cold, expressionless face. Slavey begged Robert to spare his life, but it was too late. Robert had already given him a chance at the start of their meeting. After that, Robert went home and returned to his usual activities. In the following days, Robert watched a broadcast on television reporting the murder of Slavey and his henchmen. The police concluded that the killings were the result of a heated feud between gangs. The scene then shifts to a man named Teddy Renson, who has just landed in the United States and immediately rushed to the location of Slavey's murder. Teddy, an errand boy for Vladimir Pushkin, Slavey's boss, was sent to investigate and find the mastermind behind the attack. As a former member of the Russian secret police with special forces training, Teddy quickly concluded that the killer was not random, but someone trained to fight and kill.
One saw it coming. None of our foremans heard about this going down.
Meanwhile, Robert was shocked to hear of Ralphie's resignation. When Robert visited him at home, Ralphie was helping his mother clean her shop, which had been deliberately set on fire by corrupt police officers after she refused to pay them protection money. Because of this, Ralphie quit his job at Home Mart to focus on helping his mother. That evening, Robert decided to help Ralphie. He secretly followed the corrupt cops as they collected money from small business owners in Ralphie's neighborhood. Robert recorded their actions, then confronted them and threatened to release the footage if they didn't stop. The corrupt cops fought back, but Robert was stronger and beat them badly.
Protect and serve, uphold the law, justice.
Tomorrow you'll have returned all the money you extorted from those people.
After being beaten to a pulp, the corrupt officers returned the money they had taken and stopped their racket. Ralphie's mother then received capital to renovate her shop and run her business again. Ralphie returned to work at Home Mart, continued his training, and eventually succeeded in becoming a security officer. Elsewhere, Teddy interrogated gangsters connected to Slavey, using violence to get information about the mastermind.
You're arrogant. Now, the Irish.
It's a message. It says, I'm here.
With no results, he then turned to Slavey's prostitutes, eventually learning about Alina and her recent troubles. Teddy tracked down Mandy and pressured her into revealing details about Alina's rebellion. Mandy admitted that a black man had visited Alina in the hospital.
A man.
A man. Customer.
No, a nice man. A black man.
After extracting the information, Teddy killed her. Teddy then checked CCTV footage from both the hospital and the location of Slavey's murder. There, he spotted Robert's figure, though the image was dim. One day, Robert found himself in another dangerous situation when a man attempted to rob the Home Mart cashier, Robert's coworker. Because the store was full of families with children, Robert allowed the robber to take what he wanted, even the gold ring worn by the cashier.
It's okay, Jenny.
However, Robert carefully memorized the robber's license plate. The next day, the cashier was shocked to discover her ring had been returned, left inside the register. Robert was later seen wiping down a large hammer, the very tool he had used to knock out the robber and reclaim the stolen ring. That night, Teddy came to Robert's house, pretending to be a police officer investigating Slavey's murder. He asked Robert about his whereabouts during the time of the crime. Calm and composed, Robert answered Teddy's questions, avoiding suspicion. Both men, however, knew the truth. Robert realized Teddy was no policeman, while Teddy concluded Robert was behind Slavey's murder. Knowing the Russian Mafia was now after him, Robert quickly prepared to leave his apartment. Teddy then ordered one of his men to attack Robert at the diner. Robert easily defeated the man.
These instructions that I'm gonna kill, you understand?
The fuck is this? Let's go.
Afterward, Robert walked out and spotted Teddy waiting in a car. Robert snapped a photo of him with his phone before Teddy and his men chased him back to his apartment.
Yeah, alive. I'm on it.
But Robert wasn't there. Instead, he was elsewhere, secretly watching them through a hidden camera he had installed earlier. Realizing he was up against one of the most powerful Russian criminal organizations in the world, Robert visited an old friend and colleague, Susan Plummer, at the Defense Intelligence Agency. Using her resources, Susan gave him information about Vladimir Pushkin and his operations. She also revealed Teddy Renson's real name, Nikolayenko.
He won't stop until he kills you and anyone you care about.
Susan later told her husband, he didn't ask for help. He asked for permission to destroy Pushkin's operations in the United States. Robert's first move was to raid Pushkin's cash vault. He incapacitated all of Pushkin's men, locked them in a refrigerator, and called the police, leaving behind a memory stick loaded with evidence of Pushkin's illegal activities.
Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
That evening, Teddy was dining at a fancy restaurant when a hired assassin appeared, sent to kill Robert. But shortly after the assassin left Teddy's table, Robert entered the restaurant and approached him. Sitting calmly across from Teddy, Robert placed the assassin's cracked, bloody glasses on the table. He revealed that he already knew Teddy's past, warned him to stop pursuing, and vowed to take down Pushkin's entire criminal empire. Robert then destroyed Pushkin's oil tankers and systematically dismantled his entire business in the United States. In retaliation, Teddy devised a plan to lure Robert. He and his men stormed the Home Mart store, taking Robert's co-workers as hostages. Teddy then called Robert, threatening to kill them unless he came immediately. But Robert had anticipated this. He sneaked into the control room, used the loudspeakers to distract Teddy's men, and freed Ralphie. He asked Ralphie to lead their co-workers to safety through the back door. After ensuring everyone was safe, Robert shut off the main lights, leaving only dim spotlights in the store. He then hunted down Teddy's men one by one, killing them with tools from the hardware aisles. Eventually, Robert confronted Teddy and killed him with a nail gun. Three days later, Robert traveled to Moscow. He stormed Pushkin's mansion, killing all his guards. Finally, Robert tricked Pushkin into electrocuting himself, ending his life.
What do you want?
I want the head of the snake.
And tell me, what do you gain from my death?
Peace.
With Pushkin dead, Robert declared, all of his illegal operations are finished. After returning to the United States, Robert met Alina outside a grocery store. She had recovered from her injuries and told him she had started a new, better life, free from slavery. She thanked Robert for giving her a second chance and kissed him lightly on the cheek. Inspired by Alina and his co-workers, Robert decided to continue using his skills to help others in need.